Family adopts strange dog. When the vet sees him, he calls the police. The laughter in the Pinebrook Animal Shelter usually faded by noon, but today it stopped all at once. A little boy named Liam had frozen in front of a cage pushed far into the corner, a spot most visitors never walked to. Inside sat a strange dog unlike anything the shelter staff had ever seen. His skin was smooth and gray, almost like stone. His eyes were bright yellow and too focused, as if he understood every movement around him. "Mom, he's staring at me," Liam whispered. His mother stepped closer but felt a chill crawl up her arms. The dog didn't blink. He didn't bark. He didn't even shift. He only watched. The shelter worker, Miss Grant, hurried over with a tense look. "That one isn't ready for visitors," she said. "We keep him separated for a reason." But before she could explain, the metal latch on the cage clicked on its own. The door slid open with a soft scrape. The strange dog stepped out, calm and steady, and walked straight to Liam. He sat beside the boy like they had known each other forever. Miss Grant's face went pale. "He's never done that before," she whispered. Liam smiled and gently touched the dog's smooth head. The animal leaned into his hand with surprising warmth. His mom hesitated. Everything deep inside her told her to step back, to question this strange moment, but seeing the dog lower his head beside her son made her think he just needed someone to trust. "We'll take him," she said before she could second-guess herself. Ms. Grant looked torn but walked them to the desk. She signed the papers slower than usual, her hands shaking. "If anything strange happens, call me right away," she said. "I'm serious." The family loaded the dog into the back seat. Liam named him Titan the moment the car door shut. Titan sat between the kids without a sound, his eyes locked on the trees passing by as if he was studying every inch of the road home. That night their house felt different. Titan didn't explore or jump around like a new pet normally would. He moved quietly, almost too quietly, watching each room as if checking them for danger. When the family went to bed, Titan didn't sleep. He sat at the front door the entire night, staring into the dark yard, ears twitching at noises no one else could hear. The family thought they had rescued a lonely dog, but they would soon learn they had brought home something else. Something that was never meant to be adopted. The first few days with Titan felt calm, almost too calm. The family expected barking, running around, maybe a little trouble here and there. But Titan stayed quiet. He followed Liam everywhere like a shadow, always alert, always watching. Mrs. Parker noticed small things first. Titan never touched his dog food. Not even fresh chicken made him curious. He only sniffed it then walked away. At night she sometimes heard soft clicks coming from the kitchen, but each time she checked, Titan was sitting by the window staring out at the yard, still and tense. Mr. Parker tried to laugh it off. "Maybe he's still getting used to us," he said, though his voice didn't sound sure anymore. On Wednesday evening something strange happened. The family was watching a show on TV when a loud police siren played in a commercial. Titan's ears shot up. His body stiffened. Then he stood fast, muscles tight, yellow eyes locked on the screen like he recognized the sound. His breathing grew faster and he let out a low rumble, something close to a growl. "It's okay," Mr. Parker said, turning the volume down. But even after the sound stopped, Titan stayed stiff, staring as if waiting for something else. The next morning, Liam opened the front door to head to school only to find Titan blocking the way. Not in an angry way but guarding. Titan's eyes moved from Liam to the yard, scanning it carefully before stepping aside. "Why did he do that?" Liam asked. Mrs. Parker forced a smile. "Maybe he's just being protective." But she felt her chest tighten. Later that day, neighbors began noticing the strange-looking dog. One man walking his golden retriever stopped and stared for a long moment. "That's some rare breed, huh?" he asked Mr. Parker. "Looks more like something wild." Mr. Parker chuckled, but inside he felt the same confusion. Titan didn't act like any dog he'd ever owned. He never wagged his tail, never barked, never played. But he always knew when someone was about to knock. He lifted his head minutes before the doorbell rang each time, as if he heard something no one else could. That night, Liam sat beside Titan with a drawing pad. He showed Titan a picture he made of them playing in the yard. Titan tilted his head slightly, almost like he understood the drawing. Liam giggled and hugged him. "You're my buddy," he whispered. Titan blinked slowly but his ears stayed pointed toward the backyard. The moonlight poured through the window, making his smooth skin shine faintly. He didn't look relaxed. He looked ready. Watching. Waiting. The Parkers tried to believe he was simply adjusting to his new home. But Titan wasn't adjusting. He was preparing. And the reason why would soon shake the family to the core. It was well past midnight when Mr. Parker woke to a strange rattling sound coming from the backyard. At first he thought it was just the wind, but then he heard Titan growl. Not loud, low, deep, a warning. Mr. Parker sat up fast. Titan was already downstairs, standing at the back door, muscles tight, eyes locked on the fence. The growl rolled through his chest like thunder. Titan. Mr. Parker whispered, stepping closer. Titan didn't look back. He stayed fixed on something outside. Mr. Parker grabbed a flashlight and slowly cracked open the door. Cold air rushed in, carrying the smell of wet grass. Titan slipped out first, moving fast and silent, his steps almost too smooth. The flashlight beam shook in Mr. Parker's hand as he scanned the yard. At first he saw nothing. Just grass, trees, and the old fence. But then Titan's bark exploded in the dark, loud and fierce. The first real bark the dog had ever made. Mr. Parker ran toward the sound. Titan stood at the back fence, teeth bared, fur bristling around his neck. The boards of the fence were bent outward, like someone had pushed them from the other side. Mud on the ground was fresh, smeared with clear boot prints. Not animal tracks. Human. Mr. Parker felt his stomach drop. Someone had been in their yard. Someone who didn't belong there. He looked into the woods but saw only shadows moving between the trees. Titan, come, he called, his voice shaking. Titan stayed locked on the darkness, every part of him ready to attack if needed. After a long moment, he finally backed away and followed Mr. Parker inside. The next morning, the daylight made everything worse. The fence had been forced open just wide enough for a person to slip through. The ground was torn up with prints leading toward the forest. Mrs. Parker covered her mouth. Someone tried to break in. Mr. Parker nodded quietly. Looks like it. Liam stood behind them, hugging Titan's neck, eyes wide with fear. Did Titan scare them away? Mr. Parker knelt down. I think he did. But deep down he wondered if Titan had done more than scare them. Maybe he had sensed them long before they even reached the yard. Police came later that day. They took pictures, measured the prints, and walked the woods with flashlights. One officer frowned at how deep the footprints were. These aren't average civilians, he said. Whoever this was, they knew what they were doing. That night, the family locked every window and double-checked each door. Titan returned to his place by the back window, watching the tree line, ears twitching at every distant noise. He didn't sleep once. Mrs. Parker whispered to her husband, "How did he know they were out there?" Mr. Parker didn't answer. He didn't know anymore. Titan wasn't acting like a pet. He was acting like he'd been trained for moments exactly like this. And the Parkers had no idea what was coming next. By the end of the week, the tension in the Parker house felt heavy. Titan had stopped eating completely. He paced the hall at night, ears reacting to faint sounds no one else heard. Liam tried to cheer him up, but Titan only pressed his head against the boy's chest, as if trying to say something without words. Mrs. Parker finally said, "We're taking him to the vet. Something isn't right." The ride to the clinic was quiet. Titan sat still, staring out the window like he was memorizing every turn. Liam kept one hand on him the whole way, whispering, "It's okay, we'll help you." The Pinebrook Animal Clinic was small and bright. Dr. Rowan, the town vet, greeted them with a warm smile that faded the moment Titan entered the room. The dog's yellow eyes fixed on him with intense focus. Dr. Rowan tried to pet him, but Titan stiffened. The vet pulled his hand back slowly. "All right," he said softly. "We'll take it slow." He scanned Titan's neck for a microchip. The scanner beeped sharp and loud. The screen flashed red. Dr. Rowan frowned and tried again. Same result. A long code filled the display, followed by one word. Restricted. Mrs. Parker's voice shook. "What does that mean?" The vet didn't answer right away. He moved to his computer, typed in the code, waited, typed again. His face grew paler each second. He took a small blood sample and stepped into his office. "Give me a moment," he said. Minutes passed. Then 10. Then 20. The nurse avoided looking at the family. Liam hugged Titan tighter. From behind the office door, the Parkers heard soft, fast voices. Then the sound of a phone being dialed. When Dr. Rowan finally returned, he looked like he had seen something he didn't want to believe. "Please stay calm," he said. "There's an irregularity with his records." Before Mr. Parker could ask more, a sharp sound cut through the clinic. Sirens. Not from a TV. Not from a car driving by. Real police sirens racing toward them. They grew louder, closer, until flashing lights filled the parking lot outside. 2 black and white cruisers pulled up fast. Officers stepped out, hands resting near their belts, eyes scanning the building. Mr. Parker stood, heart pounding. Why are the police here? Dr. Rowan swallowed hard. His hand shook. It's because of Titan, he whispered. He isn't just a dog. The doors burst open and the officers rushed in. One of them spoke with firm, cold authority. Who brought the animal in? Mrs. Parker lifted her hand slowly. We did. The officer looked at Titan, then at Dr. Rowan. You verified the chip? The vet nodded weakly. Yes. And it's real. The officer's jaw tightened. That dog is registered under a government project that was shut down years ago. He's not a normal rescue. He's a classified asset. Titan's ears twitched. His body tensed. Liam hugged him tightly. He's not an asset, the boy said. He's my friend. Titan lowered his head in front of Liam, guarding him. The lead officer stepped back. We're not here to hurt him, he said. But we need to know how he ended up in your home. The answer was something the Parkers weren't ready for. And the truth was worse than they imagined. The officers stood tense as Dr. Rowan pulled up the hidden files linked to Titan's chip. The screen showed numbers, old dates, and a name no one in the room recognized. Project Helix K9. The lead officer lowered his voice. These dogs weren't trained like normal service animals. They were built for dangerous missions. Stronger hearing. Faster reflexes. Higher awareness. They were never meant to live with families. Mrs. Parker shook her head. He has never hurt us. He protected us. The officer sighed. That's what worries us. These dogs protect until something triggers them. They can't always stop themselves. Before anyone could speak, Titan suddenly lifted his head. His eyes locked on the door. A low growl rolled through him. The officers turned fast, hands on their weapons. Dr. Rowan frowned. What is it? But Titan already knew. A second later, tires screeched outside. Dark SUVs slid into the lot. Not police. No sirens. No markings. The same type that tried to grab Titan days before. One officer whispered, It's them again. The clinic windows shook as several armed men jumped out. They moved fast, too fast, like they had done this before. The lead officer grabbed his radio. All units, we need backup now. Titan pushed himself in front of Liam, planting himself between the boy and the door. The men outside tried the handle. Lock. Then a loud crash as they slammed something heavy against the door. Mrs. Parker screamed. Liam held Titan's neck tight. The door cracked under the force. Another hit and it burst open. Before the men could step inside, Titan charged. He hit the first man so hard the attacker dropped his weapon. Another man aimed a dart gun at Titan, but the dog leaped aside with speed no normal animal should have. The dart hit the wall. An officer grabbed Mrs. Parker and shouted, Stay behind us. Titan didn't stop. He forced the men back toward the parking lot, teeth bared, growling with a deep rumble that shook the air. One attacker stumbled, another yelled into a radio, We need him alive, do not shoot. But Titan wasn't going with them. Backup sirens screamed toward the clinic from every direction. The attackers heard it and backed toward their vehicles. One pointed at Titan. This isn't over. They jumped into their SUVs and tore out of the lot, vanishing into the trees. Titan collapsed in the doorway, breathing hard. Liam ran to him crying, You're okay, you're okay. Dr. Rowan checked him over quickly. He's exhausted. But he'll be all right. The lead officer looked at the Parkers with a softer expression this time. You didn't call for danger, he said. But danger came anyway. And he protected you. That tells me something. Mrs. Parker wiped her tears. What happens now? The officer took a deep breath. The government can't take him back to a lab. Not after what those men tried to do. He's not a project anymore. He made his own choices. And he chose you. Liam's face lit with hope. So he can stay? The officer nodded. Under protection, yes. We'll keep eyes on your home and we'll make sure those men never get close again. Titan lifted his head at the sound of Liam's voice. His tail moved once, slow but happy. Weeks passed. The Parkers added stronger locks, better lights, and the police patrolled the area often. Titan changed too. He slept more. He ate again. He even wagged his tail sometimes. Liam said it meant he finally felt safe. Months later, a single envelope arrived in the mail. No name. No return address. Inside was only one note. He wasn't built to belong to anyone. He chose who he wanted to protect. Take care of him. They won't stop looking. Under the note was a picture of Titan sleeping beside Liam on the porch. The Parkers understood. Titan wasn't just a dog they adopted. He was a guardian who had survived a world that tried to use him, and he had found the one family he would fight for no matter what came next. And that choice was something no program could control.